Hello my friends, Asoka the Geek here, and for this review, we are going to take a look at the McFarlane Toys DC Direct, the new Batman Adventures action figures. First of all, huge thanks to the fine folks at McFarlane Toys for sending me these figures for review. So we have Batman, Killer Croc and Baby Doll, Batgirl, and Two-Face. So these figures are technically re-releases of the old DC Direct animated series Batman line. But there are differences. There are a few differences which we'll get into. Well, I can get into it now. I think namely is the plastic on these figures definitely feels different from the old school DC Direct figures. The DC Direct figures of the past, I think, had maybe a thicker plastic or just a different type of plastic, which was sometimes easy to snap at the joints. I have many figures that I had to glue together. This plastic actually feels different, but also feels a little bit sturdier, if that makes sense. I know it's kind of hard to visualize that or kind of understand what I'm saying without holding these figures and holding an original DC Direct figure, but suffice it to say, I think these are really nice re-releases. I think the plastic they used might actually hold up better than the old DC Direct figures. Also, a change from the original DC Direct figures is these ones come with these like animation cells you can see in the back of the packaging there, and also the stands are a little bit different. There's still the basic stand that they all came with in the past, but a little different, I think, as well. As you can see, these are all loaded with extra hands and weapons and accessories. This is all carried over from the old DC Direct figures. Those also came with a lot of fun accessories as well. There's Baby Doll, Killer Croc, and then these specific figures we are looking at, again, these are based on the new Batman Adventures. So that's when they brought back the animated Batman. I think that's when the WB was formed, and they had the new Superman cartoon. They're like, hey, we need a new Batman cartoon. So they basically did a new season of the original Batman, the animated series, where they updated the designs on all the characters. And I actually love these updated designs. For example, this Batman, just love this very Frank Miller looking year one Batman. I love the design of that Batman. Some of the designs, I prefer the original, like Killer Croc, for example. Honestly, I do prefer the original kind of dopey looking Killer Croc, but other figures, I really like their design. Anyways, enough with my long intro there. Let's go ahead and open these figures and take a closer look. Alright, so here is Batman outside of the packaging. So let's talk about what he comes with. So first he comes with this animated cell reproduction there. So very nice little animated cell. It's reproduction. It clearly says that on the back. So there's information on the back of the reproduction there. Even comes with a little fold out stand, so you could stand this up if you like. So yeah, I think that's really nice. It's a really nice touch. Directed by Kurt Gaeta. Story by Rich Fogel. Oh, man, bringing back some memories. Music by Shirley Walker, who did all the animated movies. So super cool. Oh, 1997. Man, I am old. I was 17 when this show came out, and man, I was so hyped for it. Still such an awesome show. Over the Edge is probably my favorite episode of any of the animated shows, and that was from this series. Anyways, there's the animated cell reproduction. There's Batman, which we'll get into in a minute, but let me kind of show off the accessories just while it's in the packaging. You see he comes with a few different sets of hands. He's holding a gauntlet in one of them. Just different hands there. He comes with a gauntlet, a separate gauntlet, a batarang, a hand with a gauntlet. So yeah, a lot of fun, different hands there if you're into that stuff. And then the figure, before we talk about the figure, let's talk about the stand he is on. So these are definitely reminiscent of the old DC Direct stands, which were kind of not great, if I'm being honest. They were odd stands that were it's hard to explain. If you know, though. If you collected this line back in the day, the stands went through a few different iterations, but I like this stand. The stand is cool, has the logo on it. The stand is sturdy. I think I like these quite a bit, actually. These are the kind of stands I like that offer that kind of back support to really hold up the figure, and you are going to need a stand for these animated figures, but they do not stand well on their own. They never did in the DC Direct days, and I imagine they won't with the McFarlane ones as well. But there's the figure. So there he is. There is Batman. So design over articulation is apparent here, even though this has a ton of articulation actually. So I'm going to walk back that comment I just made. But the biggest issue you're going to notice is with, you know, the cape there, right? Since the cape is designed to look this way, which I love, you really can't do much with the articulation, you know, kind of above his arms here, because the capes kind of block it. So you can't really move his arms that high. So that's just one thing to be aware of. But if you just want a cool looking Batman to stand on the shelf, how could you not love this? This is definitely the animated Batman. He looks awesome. The DC Direct line, I mean, I don't want to be hyperbolic here, but it was legendary. That animated line is just so popular. I think they did a great job of bringing the animated figures to life. And so, yeah, this is just a great looking Batman figure. It looks like it stepped out of the cartoon. A couple of things here. The head's kind of popping out there a little bit on my one, but you can actually have him look up and down. And yeah, I think he looks awesome. You still have a lot of articulation, even though you can't really move his arms. You can see him there at the knees, the feet. Let's see how the legs move there. So yeah, you do have a lot of articulation, but again, you won't be able to really move him much above the arms there. But again, he looks great on the shelf, just kind of posed with the other figures. Hopefully they'll do a Nightwing with this figure, or sorry, in this line, because you got to have Nightwing, Tim Drake, Robin, all kind of standing next to each other. That's gonna be a scene, man. I think the only thing I have here with this figure, or any issue, is my head here. I don't know if this is on purpose or not, but it's kind of popping out from the neck. I don't think that's on purpose, because I don't remember the first one doing that. Or maybe it is. It is giving you more head articulation. But yeah, that's the only thing. Other than that, it's a great figure. It's a great Batman. If you're a fan of this design, then how could you not love this figure? Sorry, my lighting's all over the place today. But there he is. I will do a YouTube short or another video kind of comparing this to the original. I think one of the some of the questions I've been seeing is, hey, do I need to upgrade this figure if I already had the original DC Direct one? My initial thought is probably not. If your original DC Direct figure looks good, is not really scuffed up, and you're happy with it, don't see much reason to upgrade this unless, well, like this wave doesn't have a Build-A-Figure, so you don't need to buy it. The other waves that they're releasing do have Build-A-Figures, so you might have to double dip to get those Build-A-Figures. But specifically, we're just talking about this Batman figure. Even though the plastic is different, I think it's pretty much an exact duplicate of the original one. And again, I'll do a YouTube short or another video soon kind of comparing the two. But don't really see much need for you to upgrade if you already have the original in good condition. And I am so stoked that they are making these figures for all the people who weren't able to get these originally when they came out, because, you know, they are really expensive now. So it is great that you're getting an opportunity to purchase these. Anyways, let's take a look at some of the other figures. So let's take a look at Killer Croc and Baby Doll next. All right, folks. So next up we have Killer Croc and Baby Doll. First, there is the animated cell that it comes with. So very cute little cell there, reproducing the classic scene from the animated series. There's the back of it if you're interested. But yeah, definitely like these animated cells. I think that's a really nice touch. Next, we have the accessories. Not too many accessories with this set. You have a little chicken, which is cute. You can use, I think I've said cute few many times in this review so far, but there's a little chicken you can use either with Killer Croc or your other action figure photography. Extra set of hats for Killer Croc and a little baby bottle for Baby Doll there. So there you go. Then it does come with the stand that I just showed you with Batman, but it only comes with one stand. So, you know, I guess you can use it on Croc. But honestly, you're going to want to use it on Baby Doll, because I could not get her to stand for the life of me. Killer Croc is holding her up. So very difficult figure to stand. But here she is. There is, Baby Doll. And I think it's a nicely designed figure. This is more of an accessory than a figure, honestly. I know it's a figure, but you can't do much with it. It's pretty small, very limited articulation. But I mean, it's kind of cute. You can have her walking around and whatnot. I think it looks like Baby Doll from what I can recollect from the animated series. So very interesting character, man. What a tragic character Baby Doll was, man. Like, thinking about that episode now as an adult, geez, that was rough. They definitely went for some adult themes on that show, which one of the reasons why it's so popular, I think. But yeah, very sad, tragic story for Baby Doll. But yeah, there she is. And then there is her man, Killer Croc. If you guys remember this episode, they kind of had like a little sort of romance, or at least she thinks he is into her, and it was a very cool pairing, great episode. And yeah, there is Killer Croc. So again, not my favorite of the redesigns. I do prefer the original version of Killer Croc, but as the figure goes, you have some good articulation here, sort of. I guess there's no knee articulation. You have foot articulation though. The head moves around really nicely. Arm articulation there. So there you go. You could definitely have him, doing some stuff, getting into it with Batman. And yeah, there it is. Very simple design, very minimalistic design with Killer Croc. Again, I think it does represent the animated series nicely. That's how I remember him with this incarnation anyway. So there he is. There's Killer Croc. All right, guys, on to Mr. Two-Face next. All right, so here is Harvey Dent Two-Face. There is the trading card, the reproduction animated cell that it comes with. Really like this image. Really nice head-on image of Harvey Two-Face there. There's the back of it if you want to see the back of it. There it is. As far as accessories, comes with a gas mask, 2 extra sets of hands, a clock, a little stopwatch, and a little bag of loot. Looks like that does open up. So let's take a quick look and see if there's actually anything in it, or if it's just something you can put this gas mask in. So there is the little briefcase there. It's empty, but you can put all of the accessories in there, I guess. And then there's the figure itself. So I'm fine with this redesign. It's not much of a redesign. It's pretty similar, I think, to the original. Actually, maybe not. This was a little more sleeker at the bottom. It's very interesting. He's got tiny feet, man. Look at those little tiny feet he's got. So yeah, that was an interesting choice there. But I think this is still a very nice looking, pretty classic Two-Face. I think I do like the original one more now that I look at this. But I think as far as the translation of plastic, DC Direct and McFarlane did a great job. Like the two-tone black and white. Love the tie there. There's the bad Harvey and the good Harvey, or not good Harvey, just regular Harvey. But yeah, there he is. Not too much to this figure either. Same articulation you've seen with the others. This one does have knee articulation. You can move his arms a bit more than Batman even. But yeah, definitely, I think just kind of, remembering this original line now. I think when you start to articulate these guys, they look a little awkward because they really aren't meant to be that articulation as far as an action figure goes, if that makes any sense at all. Like, I think these are definitely figures where the design is what really sells the figure. As soon as you start moving it around, the articulation points just make it look awkward, just because of the way the figures are designed. They're very stylized, right? So when you start to move them around, I think they kind of look a little wonky, as Toy Shiz would say, So yeah, it definitely looks a little awkward when you start to, move them around too much. Because I think these were more meant to be beautifully displayed pieces on your shelf, So there it is. But yeah, there's Harvey Two-Face. A little closer view of him. And yeah, there he is. All right, let's go on to the final figure in this review. Let's take a look at Batgirl. All right, so here's a look at the animated cell for Batgirl. There you go. That's a nice little image of her. There's the back of it. Animated cell reproduction. And there it is. There's the cell. As far as accessories, she comes with a batarang, 2 batarangs, the little part of the Gatling gun, I guess. Then extra sets of hands. And then a little odd, she comes with a hand that has the little Gatling gun thing attached to it, but it's painted yellow. I think that should have been black. So just something to note there. But yeah, those are all the extra sets of hands. And then here is the figure itself. Probably my second favorite after Batman for this wave. I just love Batgirl. Who isn't a fan of Barbara Gordon? Love this look for her. The black, the yellow, the blue cape, yellow in the inside of the cape. And yeah, it's just a really lovely Batgirl figure. More articulation here just because there's no, anything encumbering her. So she actually moves a little bit better than Batman. But yeah, there she is. Maybe not the head so much. You can move the head. you can move it, but then her hair kind of gets a little awkward when you start moving it around. But you can still do some fun poses with her. And yeah, there she is. So there is Batgirl. Okay. All right, let me know if you want me to focus on any more of the articulation. I can more than happy to do a YouTube short, but not too much to these figures. You know, again, I think they were meant to be more stylized than articulated. You can see there's no ab crunch or anything of that nature. But if they did that, that would definitely mess up the design of these. You guys all know I am more of a fan of the sculpt than having too much articulation, and I think these work really well. So anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at all of these figures combined into one. Not into one figure, but you know, together. All right, my friends, so here they are all together. I know they look super awkward in these poses, but man, these guys are just so hard to stand. That is something that has not changed the DC Direct figures. They're so hard to stand. Baby girl, baby doll. How do I call her baby girl? Baby doll and was I calling her baby girl throughout my review? That'd be funny. Baby doll, very hard to stand. She's again leaning on Killer Croc. Batgirl as well. I just got her to stand. So there you go. Two-Face is actually doing the best with his tiny feet. So to kind of just sum up my thoughts on these figures. Number one, super stoked that they are releasing these figures again. I think there's a really big contingent of collectors who didn't get these when they originally released, or they weren't collecting back then. So that's awesome that they get a chance to buy these figures. Do I think it's worth you double dipping if you already have these figures? I don't think so, but just looking at these figures, feeling them, yeah, the plastic's different, but I think they're pretty much exact reproductions of the original ones. I am going to do another video, as I mentioned, and a short, kind of comparing these to the originals. Apologies, I didn't have those handy. They're in the attic. I gotta dig them out. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, I think, you know, keep in mind these figures are meant to be more displayed. They are more for the sculpt versus articulation. So you're not going to get much of, you know, ab crunches, things like that with these at all. As you can see throughout my review, you know, they look a little awkward depending on how you pose them. So definitely keep that in mind if you decide to purchase these and you don't own the originals. These are definitely meant more to be lovely, to be displayed on your shelf. But hey, you know, you still make some beautiful action figure photography out of these. I see people doing it all the time, so keep that in mind also. It's up to you whether you want to purchase these or not, of course. Hopefully I showed you enough of these to help you make an informed decision. Please let me know if there's anything else you would like to know. Please ask kindly in the comments. More than happy to do additional content around these. And yeah, that's about it. So there's a look at the new McFarlane Batman animated figures. I like these quite a bit, even though I own all these originals. I like the accessories that they come with. The animated cells were a nice touch, and I think the quality is great on these. I didn't snap a limb or break anything as I moved them around quite a bit. So there you have it. But as always, let me know if there's anything else you would like to see. Thank you for watching. Consider subscribing if you're so inclined, and have a great day.